I'm gonna fire this thing back up, stuff my entire family in here, put my race truck on the back, and then see if we could drive this thing 800 miles to Florida. Sounds fine.
Derek Bieri, the man behind the popular YouTube channel ViceGrip Garage, has won the hearts of millions with his creativity, authenticity, and charming personality. While he's still very much active on YouTube, there's been growing interest in his personal life, especially after a few quiet changes behind the scenes. From leaving the corporate world to relocating his family and making unexpected career moves, Derek's journey off camera has sparked plenty of curiosity. So, join us as we spill the tea about what happened to Derek Bieri.
This here is a feller's 1981 GMC Sierra Grande. Not to be confused with Ariana. Completely different.
It's no surprise that Derek would grow up to be passionate about cars. He grew up on his family farm where he was surrounded by tools and machinery. His dad and grandfather taught him the basics of auto repair, and from there, Derek took it upon himself to learn more. With that, he started with tinkering his 1969 Chevy Camaro, and in no time, he became a pro. The early days of ViceGrip Garage weren't as easy as Derek envisioned. He had to manage limited finances, figure out how to build his audience, and roll out content consistently. With the basic tools and limited resources he could gather, he shot his first video on the Chevy Camaro using a broken iPhone taped to his small garage door. With no prior knowledge of video production, he spent long hours not only restoring cars but also teaching himself how to edit content for YouTube. No doubt it was exhausting, but his passion kept him going. Speaking of passion, it is important to note that before Derek launched ViceGrip Garage, he worked in the corporate world. However, he felt unfulfilled. He often found himself thinking about cars instead of focusing on boardroom meetings. Derek wanted the freedom to do things at his discretion. With that, he swapped his three-piece suit and tie for a coverall and wrench. Derek's experience in the corporate world came in handy as he started to build his YouTube channel. He already knew how to organize, plan, and make smart decisions that helped his channel grow at a fast pace. Additionally, his simple, straightforward approach to car restoration quickly earned him a loyal following. While most car shows only focus on the positive side of their restorations, Derek, on the other hand, showed the entire process, including the challenges and mistakes. As Derek shared more restoration videos, his channel steadily grew. Viewers appreciated his humor, budget-friendly repairs, and relatable style that felt more like hanging out with a friend than watching a show. While everything looked perfect on camera, transitioning from a corporate job to becoming a full-time YouTuber wasn't easy, but it was a move Derek never regretted. And the fact that it allowed him to focus more on his family is enough. Speaking of family, Derek is a family-oriented man, and his wife, Jessica Bieri, also played a huge role in helping him find his feet on YouTube. Their love story goes way back to their 6th grade. They crossed paths in school and formed a connection. Jessica was drawn to Derek's sense of humor and personality. Their relationship continued to blossom after school, and years later, they got married. Since then, they've built a strong family and have supported each other through every phase of life. Just like Derek, Jessica also had a corporate job before joining her husband in the garage. She was a passionate teacher who cared deeply for her students. But as ViceGrip Garage began to grow, she realized the business needed more hands.
I call you the CEO. Is that
That's
reflective?
fair. Yeah, I think so. I guess scheduling and doing my best to manage everything that you have going on and kind of behind the scenes of making sure you're prepared for everything leading up to events and shows that you're doing or revivals, anything.
Running a YouTube channel while filming, editing, and restoring cars took a lot of Derek's time. Jessica saw how much work was involved and decided to quit her job. In the garage, Jessica wears many hats. While she occasionally appears on screen, most of her work happens behind the scenes. She handles schedules, organizes filming days, manages emails, and keeps things running so Derek can focus on just fixing cars. Quitting her job was no doubt a huge sacrifice that paid off. Derek often jokes that without Jessica's daily to-do list, he would be lost and far less productive for the day. Today, the channel that started with a broken iPhone now has over 2.25 million subscribers and 730 million views. That being said, a verified source revealed that ViceGrip Garage has raked in between $1.2 to $1.6 million since its creation, proof that Derek has turned his passion for restoring abandoned cars into a cash flow. But that's not all. Derek also runs a merchandise store where fans can buy a variety of products like shirts, hoodies, hats, accessories, and car care products. One thing about Derek is that while he earns enough to live comfortably, he chooses to invest wisely instead of spending on frivolities. He makes sure to cut costs whenever he can. That mindset played a role in his decision to move his family from Minnesota to Tennessee.
Is cost of living in Minnesota, Wisconsin compared to Tennessee is a night and day difference. Other than our home, as you guys know, we had the shop in Minnesota still, and we had the shop in Wisconsin, but what you don't know is we also had a third shop that was full of cars for storage. We also had a bunch of outdoor storage, parking spots and spaces and property rentals and things like that, and that's what was needed to make the show happen.
He noticed a big difference in living costs and state taxes. Tennessee doesn't levy a state-level income tax on personal income, and expenses like insurance, utilities, and mortgages are generally lower. Minnesota, on the other hand, is about 6.1% more expensive overall. While the cost of living is a valid reason for relocation, it wasn't the only reason for Derek's move. You see, Derek grew up in North Dakota, a peaceful state with a quiet lifestyle. As Vice Grip Garage grew, he wanted the same calm environment for his kids. He wanted them to enjoy a farm-style life, just like he did growing up. Presently, Derek is undoubtedly a household name in the automotive industry, but prior to becoming a YouTube sensation, he had a brief stint in the military. Now, you might be wondering what prompted a mechanic to start off his life as a military man. Well, the answer is simple: freedom. He cared deeply about protecting justice and democracy. Also, Derek loved a good adventure, and the military ticked all the boxes. After deciding to join the military, Derek had to choose between the Navy, Air Force, Marines, or Army. Without thinking twice, he picked the Army for its teamwork and growth opportunities. As you would guess, recruitment came with a demanding selection process that tested him physically, mentally, and emotionally. After being enlisted, he continued intensive training, and his strong tech skills earned him a role as an information technology specialist. His job was to keep systems secure, manage networks, and resolve technical issues to ensure smooth operations for the forces. His role was essential to every mission. Life in the military was intense. The long hours and distance from family took a toll, but Derek adapted and remained committed. After some years in service, he made the difficult decision to return to civilian life. Switching from military life to the civilian world came with its own set of challenges, but Derek leaned on his service experience to push through. His leadership experience, discipline, and problem-solving skills were valuable in many professional roles, so it wasn't hard for him to get a job in the private sector. With a strong foundation in IT, Derek wasn't just hired as a regular employee. He entered the corporate world at the C-level, taking on executive roles that came with major responsibilities. In his leadership role, he was trusted to manage budgets, solve complex challenges, and drive business growth. One of Derek's key strengths has always been his ability to think creatively and develop smart solutions, even in high-pressure situations. This skill made him stand out in the business sector and later became crucial when starting Vice Grip Garage.